From a burst in a pipe to a burst in the box. Not only are we switching locations, but also NCCU's theater department due to flooding issues on the first floor of the MassCom building. Also, there will be no priority registration for the 2020-2021 school year.
From the broadcast studio in the Department of Mass Communication at North Carolina Central University, this is Central News.
Welcome to Central News, where we have the scoop for you. I'm your anchor today, Siegee Dowah. Our first story involves how NCCU's theater department is changing locations.
Around 7:40 a.m. last Tuesday morning, as professors entered the mass communication building, there has been reports of a pipe burst in the men's bathroom. Faculty members were shocked only to arrive to work and find themselves walking through 2 to 4 inches of water on the first floor of the building coming from the men's bathroom. Flood damages included the areas of the radio station, the theater department, as well as the TV studio. Sources say that this issue would have been avoided if the drainage worked properly in the men's bathroom. One department that's been heavily affected the most is the theater department, as they're still trying to have productions for the fall.
We are still assessing, the damage and things that have been damaged. It seems like every day we're finding more things as we go through the costumes, a few of the props, and just the rooms in general. So now we're still going through the process of reporting, damaged items, and putting things back together to try to go back to some sense of normalcy for spacing.
The black box is where the theater department usually have practices, but due to the flooding, they can only use the theater. Students are now preparing for 10-minute plays that will be performed and recorded while also social distancing. These 10-minute plays will focus on the racial inequality that our society faces to this day.
This is a series of 10-minute plays called Facing Our Truth. And it deals with what we're dealing with every day when we walk out the door. Will we be able to return? I think one play kind of deals with George Zimmerman and Trayvon. Another one deals with the subway shooting. It's just the everyday hardships that we face as African Americans.
The theater department as well as the TV studio are still making efforts to recover from the damages of the flood. I'm Alan Franks, Jr., reporting for Central News.
Hi, I'm Kobe Gibson, and I'm here at North Carolina Central University. And the first time in recent years, student athletes do not have priority registration for the 2021 spring semester. Now, priority registration is allowing the student athletes to register for classes before the regular student population due to scheduling for weight room, practices, etc. like that. These benefits have become accustomed to student athletes, and for them to be stripped away is now a difference changer for them. Student athletes have become accustomed to signing up for classes earlier than normal student population. NCCU has recently instilled a new policy for the 2021 spring semester, taking away one of the pluses of being a student athlete.
The reason that there is no priority registration that I've been told is that by having such a compressed semester, everything is done a little bit, with the Saturday class, with COVID, we're trying to make sure our students are safe. With everything being pushed together, compressed, I think that the idea was to make sure that all our students got registered.
The date for when students can sign up and register for classes is October 14th. For many, this is the first time that they will have not been granted priority registration. With the recent lack of priority registration, NCCU senior student athletes are beginning to stress about if they will be able to take classes they need in order to fulfill their graduation requirements.
I'm stressed about not getting priority registration because I may not be able to take the classes I need towards my degree. Not being able to take the classes I need might delay my graduation.
The Alexander Dunn building on campus is where academic advisors for University College call home during the workday. The bottom floor is where student athletes have to fulfill their study requirements and meet their advisors for University College classes. On a normal COVID-free year, this building would be buzzing with students, with the upcoming class registration deadline approaching. Students hope to regain their priority registration in the 2021-2022 academic school year coming up. Reporting for Central News, Colby Gibson.
The Mack Center has been forced to make adjustments with the rise of COVID cases on campus. Kelvin Worthy has more of the story.
I'm here outside the Student Services building that holds the lively and busy Men Achievement Center. But due to COVID, this is not the Men Achievement Center that we all know.
The African American Male Initiative is the program that is housed here in the Mack Center. This program was created for young black males to be able to come together to not only fellowship, but to also get the resources that they need. The students can do things such as get community service hours, get tutored in any subject, and more. But this has been hard due to COVID.
Our goal was to make sure that we keep our young men engaged. So due to COVID, we continued to push for these young men to come on campus. We put in all the proper procedures to make sure that they were safe.
Usually the Mack Center will be filled with members doing work, laughing, or just hanging out. COVID regulations have changed all of this. With social distancing and new capacities being strictly enforced, it has caused the program to move most of their activities to a virtual setting. But this hasn't stopped them. They have accomplished several things this far, such as welcoming in a new class of young men into the program and planning a ton of events for this year despite the tough regulations.
COVID changed a lot for Cohort 12 because we had a lot of events planned for us. And I'm really looking forward to the future to see how that's going to change, see what Dr. Heavy has planned for us.
For more information, you can visit them at NCCU Mac on Instagram. I am Kelvin Worthy reporting for Central News.
Over 1,000 people have been killed by the police this year. Brianna Taylor was killed during a botched police raid. Miles Graham has more on the indictment.
On March 13, 2020, as you may know, was marked the day of Breonna Taylor's murder. Only 26 years of age, Breonna Taylor was murdered in Louisville, Kentucky. Today, we will go over the details of the case as well as express the emotions of the public.
This unfortunate event has led to numerous riots as well as the continuation of an unjust system for minorities. We talked to Pia Duncan for her professional opinion on the case.
The fact that the wall received more justice than Breonna Taylor is disheartening in the sense that essentially the one charge that was found, the charge was for the bullet that did not hit Breonna. So I think it shows that we still have a lot of work to do within our community and in our justice system.
It wasn't until several months after the death of Breonna Taylor that one officer was indicted by a grand jury. Officer Brett Hankinson was charged with reckless endangerment for firing into the neighbor's home. The suit was settled in September with the Taylor family receiving $12 million.
The monetary compensation does not replace a life. I think the $12 million settlement was an attempt to try to just hush the family. If here's money, go live your life and leave it as is. I think it was an insult. It probably was a step towards a right direction, right? But it still doesn't replace the fact. It doesn't hold that officer liable.
In order to move forward, law enforcement should be better educated and properly trained to handle difficult situations. As a society, we should hold law enforcement accountable and expect more from our judicial system.
I feel like it's a shame that we have to kind of convince society and our government that the police shouldn't be able to just do whatever they want, and that they are one of the only professions that are allowed to be consistently inadequate and put people's lives in danger without any repercussions.
This has been Miles Graham reporting for Central News.
That's all we have for you today. Catch us every Friday at noon. I'm Siegee Dowah, signing off.